For decades, war-torn Somalia has not had effective control over its own borders, and is often referred to as a failed state. Over the years, numerous governments have been engaged in conflict with warlords and militias vying for power in the country, but the most notable is Al-Shabab, a militant insurgent group operating across East Africa. Al-Shabab, which translates into English as the Youth, emerged as the radical wing from the now obsolete Islamic Courts Union, a loose political and military organization which was formed to address lawlessness after the fall of Siad Barre's authoritarian regime in 1991. The power vacuum that was left behind cultivated the seeds of the Somali Civil War, which still rages today. This youth faction became prominent after Ethiopian forces intervened in Somalia in 2006 at the request of the Somalian government, ousting the Islamic Courts Union from the capital city of Mogadishu.
The intention of the transitional federal government is to clean the Islamic courts, militias from all of these regions.
in ummadda Soomaaliyeed ay aayaheeda ka tashato una diyaargarowday sidii ay xilkan ula wareegi lahayd.
While the ICU faded away, Al-Shabab militants fled south, where they began planning attacks on Ethiopian forces, the beginnings of an insurgency. The group reached its peak in 2011, when it controlled parts of Mogadishu and the key port of Kismayo, but in the same year, African Union troops intervened, pushing Al-Shabab from most of its strongholds.
labadii duhurnimo ciidanka xoogga dalka Soomaaliyeed oo shalay soo gaaray istaadiga Mogadishu saakana u sii gudbay dhanka jidka Yaaqshid wax dhibaato oo iska hor imaado weyn ma dhicin saakay baa laba askari naga dhaawacantay oo meel fog xabada laga soo ridayay ay dhaawac u geysteen.
The country's political geography remains complex, and Al-Shabab still controls large swathes of rural land in the south, remaining an ever-present threat in Somalia. Today, Al-Shabab is affiliated with Al-Qaeda and is deemed a terrorist group by the US, the UAE and the UK. It reportedly has between 7,000 and 9,000 fighters, some of whom joined from abroad, and funds itself through piracy, kidnapping, extortion and racketeering. Al-Shabab's goal is to topple the Western-backed government and establish an Islamic State in Somalia. The group carries out near daily terror attacks, targeting civilians and Western-backed forces in the country, killing governors, journalists and foreign soldiers. They were blamed by the Somalian government for the killing of at least 500 people in a Mogadishu truck bombing in October 2017, the deadliest ever in the country. They've also directed attacks in Kenya and Uganda, including the 2015 mass shooting at Garissa University and the 2010 Kampala bombings, which targeted football fans watching the World Cup final between Spain and Holland. Despite years of fighting, with support from US and African Union troops, the federal government of Somalia has failed to defeat Al-Shabab and take full control of the country. Due to the continued armed insurgency, Somalia remains one of the most dangerous and divided countries in the world. While it has a government, with a parliament, judiciary, prime minister and president, it remains essentially powerless and has been unable to hold free one-person, one-vote democratic elections since 1969.